What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 3, and we are well underway in our Realistic Career Mode with Wrexham AFC. Last episode, we kicked off the league campaign. As you can see, some of the league fixtures there. We won our opening game 3-0, lost our second game to Salford 3-0, and then we beat League One side, Cambridge United, in the Cup 1-0. So, yet to have a game where both sides have scored. But a decent start, I think. You know, a win and a loss in the league and a win in the cup is decent signs of progression. I think the EFL Cup is not a massive priority for me at all. Obviously, we're newly promoted in League Two. I want to try and push for the playoffs. That's my aim. The board want me to win the league, which is quite a big ask, but I'm going to try and do the best I can. We sold Jordan Davis as well. He went to Rotherham, who we will face in the second round of the Carabao Cup, funnily enough. But before then, we have 3 league games to bring you today: Grimsby, Harrogate and Crawley Town. Starting off with Grimsby on the road, our first road league game of the season. And, well, Okonkwo would make a great save down one end. We would go down the other. And Stephen Fletcher, this guy, he may be 36, but the guy is thriving right now in League Two. He receives a nice little through ball from Paul Mullin, and Fletcher, the dinked little finish over the onrushing keeper. And we have the perfect start, 1-0 up inside the first 10 minutes. And that's happened 2 games out of 3 for us. We've scored in the first 10 minutes. With 12 minutes on the clock, Paul Mullin, who's yet to score in this season, you could see that his confidence is low right now. That little run, a confident Paul Mullin just takes that ball, gets past the defender and puts it in the back of the net, but he unfortunately couldn't. Just his confidence is low at the moment, but I have no doubt that he will find his flow at some point. I just wanted to leave this in as well. They've got a new animation for the offsides, which is so much better, because sometimes there would be an offside call, and the way they would animate it and show it, it wasn't clear at all. So that new animation they've got for offside is really nice. So props to EA for that one. 18 minutes on the clock, our domination would continue. Grimsby, who had one win from their first 2, just like us, but we were playing them off the park in these early stages. And Elliot Lee, who I've been very impressed with in these early stages, has his 3rd goal already in as many games. A beautiful strike into the far corner to silence the home fans. But we weren't done there. 5 minutes before the break, Mullin linking up with Young, who would find Ford out wide, who has been so influential already, the fullback. Mullin eventually found by Elliot Lee, and he does get off the mark for the first time this season. Weight off his shoulders for the Scouse, and a nice little assist for Elliot Lee there. A great finish from Mullin, actually very similar to Lee's goal earlier in the half, and we have a 3-0 lead before the break. And the Grimsby boss had actually seen enough. Before the break, he makes a substitution, which they added that feature in last year, which is quite cool. You know, if the boss isn't happy, if you're getting battered, they make an early change. I don't mind it at all. At half-time, we would make a few changes. I felt like the game was done and dusted, and with League Two, and well, any of the EFL leagues actually, we've got game after game. So where you can rotate, try and do so. And we make 3 changes at the break. Paul Mullin, though, bags his 2nd of the game. You know, it's that classic London Busters saying, none come for ages, and then 2 come at the same time. Paul Mullin, no goals in the first 2 games. And wasn't looking great. He has 2 goals within 15 minutes of this one. Gives us a 4-0 lead. And then Danny Rose, the Grimsby player, was denied by Okonkwo earlier in the half, but he does get his goal 5 minutes before the full-time whistle. It doesn't mean anything for the score, but it denies us a clean sheet. And for the first time this season, both teams have scored in one of our games. But we would see it through a very comfortable 4-1 win. Very impressive as well, actually. Good response after the league defeat to Salford. So it's kind of been how we expected. Plenty of goals, a lot of entertainment for the fans, and sometimes we'll be scoring 3, sometimes we could be conceding 3. I feel like that might be the theme of the season. We have to try and keep a bit consistent though if we want to try and get into that playoff, into that top 7 of a playoff group. Obviously, it's the top 3 that get promoted, and then 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th all enter the playoffs. I would be happy with playoffs personally. But it would be, I guess, promotion would be nice in the first season, of course. And the boards, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney, they want big things. They want back-to-back promotions, which we'll try and give them. We'll try and give them. Anyway, heading into the second game of the episode, it is Harrogate Town. Harrogate, we make 2 changes, both at the back. Barnett and Hayden coming at right centre back and right wing back. We forced the keeper into an early save before Harrogate actually get the opener. A corner, and it is quite a simple one, actually headed in. Okonkwo, no chance. Paul Mullin would have a really good chance to equalise here just a few minutes after the visitors had taken the lead, but his shot, he was sort of sliding for it actually. I thought he had a bit more time, but his shot is quite easily saved at the end before Harrogate would double their lead. I mean, we said it, sometimes we'll score 3, sometimes we'll concede 3 here. I think that's just going to be the theme of this season. Harrogate get a second before the break. And then we actually try and push to half the deficit just before half time. We force the keeper into a save. We then force a turnover. The ball eventually finds Young, who rivals a shot, but then the keeper is well up for the save again. The resulting corner gets swung in by Young, and there's Paul Mullin. 3 goals in 2 now for the forward, who had none in his first 2. Nice to see him in form, and we are pushing now for this equaliser. Mendy plays it to Mullin. Oh, what a chance that is. Really big chance for Paul Mullin to get his and our second of the game before half-time as well. That would have been huge. We're deep into stoppage time now. 2 minutes added on. We're into the 49th minute. We head the ball away. I thought the ref would have blown for half-time there. He hasn't. Harrogate still have a chance. Oh, and they restore their 2-goal lead. Entering the 51st minute. We've had 2 minutes added on, and we're 6 minutes into that. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, that was a theme in last year's game on FIFA 23, where injury time would just go on for a very long time and there would always be a late goal. That goal was a killer blow for us. As you can see, it was actually the full-time result. The second half was a bit dead. We pushed to get back into the game but didn't create too many chances. But that third goal on the stroke of half-time just killed us because we had a bit of momentum. Going into the second half, I believe we could have done something, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And after 4 league games with 2 wins, 2 defeats, so not bad, 50% record, but we try and move on from that result. And before we head into the third and final game, a bit of transfer news. As you would have seen by the title, we do make a signing, and we dip our toes into the free agency market. Stephen Davis, the 38-year-old veteran, another experienced head coming into the side, but I think he's a fantastic signing. The former Villa, Fulham, Rangers, Southampton midfielder. He's done it all, and he is a very good, experienced man to have in that midfield. He immediately comes in as our highest rated player as well, at 71 overall. I just think he will add a lot to our team, and he comes straight into the starting lineup there. Dalby and McLean also come into the team that face the Sussex-based side Crawley, who, just like us, are on 6 points, 2 wins, 2 defeats in their first 4 games. Interestingly enough as well, Crawley have a player, Jed Brown, who is the brother of Tobe Jizzle from the Sidemen. So I think that's quite a cool fact. I know all 3 of the brothers, I think those 2 and Manny, all got invited down to Crawley for a trial, and it seems like Jed hit it off with them, and now I think he's playing for the B team in real life, but in our game he's featuring for the first team, so big up Jed Brown. That's pretty sick. Anyway, heading into the game, it would be the host who would have the first chance of the game, but their striker drags a shot just wide. And then Stephen Davis, well, we haven't brought him in for his goal scoring, let's just say that. He fires a shot very wide of the post. A few minutes before half time, though, the Northern Irishman is breaking it down the wing. He finds Lee, who finds Sam Dalby. And he matches his EFL Cup record, 1 start, 1 goal in both competitions. Keeper should be doing better there, but Dalby gives us a 1-0 lead just before the halftime break. It's the first time we're wearing the white kit as well. Our first outing in our away kit, and I think it's quite a nice kit actually as well. Shame they don't have the third kit. I think that's a black kit with the red, white, and green in there as well incorporated. But yeah, nice little away kit there. Crawley would equalise though. They start the second half actually really well. They were all over us and they get their nice equaliser. Although their winger just dance around our players, it was pretty poor from our defensive view. Davis would find Ford and he would find Mullin, but Mullin's shot goes just wide of the far post before just before the end of the game, Young almost scores Evans nearly scores a beautiful bicycle kick. It's a really nice pick out from Dalby. He flicks it onto Evans, but the midfielder tries the acrobatic, and the Crawley keeper makes a great save. And then he makes a great save here, practically the last kick of the game, and that's a cool animation as well. You know, if the keeper makes a big save later on, the players get gassed with him. And unfortunately, Dalby couldn't get his second and our second of the game. The game ends in a draw. It's the first time we've tied a game this season, so not a bad result. Kind of a fair one. I think we had the more chances, but Crawley were, I think, better in the second half. So probably overall a fair result, which is, I think, what I say in this interview here. Although we should have won the game with the chances we had. But you know, after 5 games, it's not a bad return. 2 wins, a draw, and 2 defeats. Conceding a lot of goals, scoring a lot of goals, which is kind of what we predicted. I was impressed with Stephen Davis in that game as well, making his debut. But overall, not a bad start to life in League Two. We've still got another 10 days or so of the transfer window, so maybe we'll bring in a couple more players. Let me know in the comments where you think I need to improve, what positions and what players I should bring in as well. But that'll be it for today's episode 3 of the Realistic Career Mode. I hope you're enjoying it. Drop a like on the video if you are, and I'll catch you in episode 4 very soon.